Okay, I'm going to show you the GitHub. Let me start by showing you a pre-cooked repository that I made. So you open the tool, slow, there you go. We're just going to use a local file, so we want to add an existing local repository. You choose it, and it's Ciao. It's right here. Shared. Okay. It's right here. My repo. Add repository, and there it is. We want to use this only to do the what you call changes. So we go to the history. As you can see here, I have one repository now. You can have a whole bunch of them. My repo. So this is my initial version. I added two files, this one and this one. They show up green because they were newly added. There was nothing before, so they were added. So then I made a change to this gauge.js. I made in version 2. And as you can see, the green lines are the ones that I added. I added this, my testing, this line. I did the same with the other file, about. I added this line and this line in the green. The rest is the same. I made one more change to the gauge. See, I changed it from the pink is the one that you just deleted it. As you can see, line 7 went from this to this. All I did is just added this. And finally I made a change to both files. Let's go to gauge. On the gauge, as you can see, in the pink, I changed this to this. On the about, I just added this line here, the change 3. It tells you here which line was modified, what you deleted, what you added. That's it. So you have the very initial version, and then you have the changes, and you get the history of the changes. And you want to see when they did it exactly, just put the mouse over here. That's the time. Right here, most of the time when we did it exactly. Who did it? This guy. This is the username of the current user that used this. In this case, it's just myself. That's it. Of course, you know, the most common request is, like most people say, I want to get my previous version. There are a bunch of GUI tools that let you do that, but this particular GitHub desktop doesn't have it. Then you can go to the command line, which is very easy. You open the terminal. Okay. So here, let's see where we are. We're right here, my repo. So let's say I want to get the latest and greatest of this gauge file. Let's say git show head gauge.js. So you pull the file. That's a whole file. On this file I changed just this last line. Let me find it for you. It's right here. I added this change 3, right? But let's say you want to get 2 versions back. No big deal. Just pull the line. I want to go 2 commits back, and there you go. As you can see, that's my stuff that I changed, and then this goes page by page. And then you can grab it from here, right, and do whatever you need to with the version that you wanted to pull out, and that's it. So you can put initial files, make changes. All the changes are logged here, which is what this thing is about. And then you can pull the whole version using that I just showed you with this command line, or use the GUI tool. There is one that's called Smart Git, but there's a whole bunch of them, so that's no big deal. Alright, this is using a pre-cooked repo. Let me do another one from the scratch so we can see how this one works. Okay, so let's make one repo from the scratch. First thing you do, you create a folder to keep the repo. So since I did it here, let's make a repo too. Alright, there we go. Repo 2. Now let's put some files into this place. Let's see, I have some files, have the same files I used on the first sample. So I'm just going to use those here. Repo 2. There we go. So now let's create a new repo. You can do it from the GitHub, but the quick way is to use some VSCode. a very good editor, which is Git-aware. There we go. So we open this editor, VSCode. Okay. So now the first thing we do is we have to open a folder where we have our data. So let's open our new my repo 2, which is right here. Okay, so there we are. We have these two files, about engage. So let me do the same changes. Oh, let me just check first. See, so far we don't have any any Git repo yet. So let's create one. See, there is no source control, so we pick one or we make one. You can pick one, but actually, since we already using this my repo 2 folder, we just choose the same folder, make our repository. There we go. See, now our repository has these two files. They're already unchecked or uncommitted. So let's put the initial commit. Put it here. Put the message initial files, and let's commit it. Okay, we're committed. So we go back to repo, GitHub. Let's add this repo. Add a repo. We have an existing repository. We browse for it, and that should be under my repo 2. That's right here. There we go. Add repository. So this is my repo 2. So on this repository, what do we got? Let's see. Let's look at the history. Two files. All right. So let's just make a change to show you how to do this. So now let's go here. Engage. Let's make this change that I did before. Let's add another variable here. Okay. We save it. So the moment we save it, it knows that it's a modification. So let's just commit this. Version 2 of Gauge. Saved. Okay, so now if you go to Git, see, that's my initial files. Version 2 is with the change, the line that I added. Let's make a couple more changes. So let's go back to the Gauge. Let's add more here. We save it. See, once we save it, it picked up that there's a modification. So let's modify this one to the about. Let's put here a little what do you call that? Alright, so we save this guy. Okay, so the two files are modified, so we can just commit it. Two files. Last two files. We committed. Yes. Done. We go to GitHub. There it is. You see this? So this is the initial file we just did with the two initial files. It's my first change. I added this line. Added line 6. And on version 2, I modified the gauge. I changed this one to this, as you can see, pink to green, and also deleted the blank here. That's it. I'll show you already how to pull it out. So, okay, over and out.